Since first being introduced to the public, the internet has been a useful tool many of us use on a daily basis, with capabilities of traveling the world right from your own living room. Unfortunately, it also has the capability to take us places we never asked to go. Death comes for us all. It's an unfortunate fact. What's more unfortunate, though, are the individuals who die alone. No family, no friends, no one they interacted with towards the end, resulting in their remains not being discovered for days, weeks, sometimes even months. Not only leaving the remains in bad condition, but the location it was found in as well, sometimes causing significant damage to the property. And with coroners only being responsible for removing the body, sometimes it's left up to grieving family to have to take care of the rest. If you're fortunate enough to be able to afford it, specialized cleaning companies are usually hired for the task. A popular one with its own YouTube channel, Spalding Decon, document their more standout cases. On my ex-wife's decomp, a man called the professionals after being notified of his ex-wife's passing. After surveying the damage to the property, he was horrified to discover what was left behind. Where his ex-wife's body was removed remained a large puddle of decomp and maggots from the body being left there for weeks. More horrifyingly though is the large chunk of hair and what looks like pieces of face flesh attached to it. The man talks freely about the find, at the end of the day not seeming too bothered by it. It's not known whether the couple ended things on a good or a sour note, but either way, I'm sure that finding your ex's face on the floor isn't how you want to remember them. Another one was a call they got from a storage site. A homeless man who had been living in the storage unit suddenly died and was in the unit rotting away for a week before he was finally discovered. As coroners removed the body, which they said was now green, it popped and, as you can imagine, left even more of a mess behind. The smell was so horrific that the storage site had to be closed down for a couple days. One of the cleaners even mentioned spotting pieces of flesh on the floor. It certainly takes a special kind of individual for this occupation. The things these people witness on a daily basis has to be draining. And after hearing that they sometimes go home smelling like quote-unquote work, it's definitely not a field of occupation I'd look to join. It's just sad thinking of the families that can't afford these services are left to clean what remains of their loved ones and just have to deal with it and move on. This CCTV camera footage was captured in an unnamed country. In it, an elderly woman exits the bus. After spotting her connecting bus, she begins to speed walk towards it when she suddenly loses balance and trips. Horrifyingly, she partly lands under the bus, her head directly near the bus's huge wheel. A couple of civilians attempt to help the woman, but the bus quickly pulls off and runs the elderly woman over, crushing the poor woman's head in the process. Horrified onlookers are clearly in disbelief of what they have just witnessed. A very unfortunate freak accident, but more unfortunately, these kind of things happen more often than one would think. Video filmed in Chile captures the moment a woman tries to slip between a bus and a metal pole. Tragically, she gets pinned in between both objects and is crushed to death. Video of the aftermath captures the bus driver gently trying to unpin the bus from the pole, getting a clear shot of the woman's dangling body, still horribly pinned in between. The bus inches forward and disturbingly rips the woman's head from her body, which then both topple over. Onlookers shocked from what they have been forced to see. Both women in these videos were in a hurry to get to their final destinations, and unfortunately, that's exactly how it played out for both of them. Industrial work is some of the most dangerous work in the field. Working with and around heavy machinery, all it takes is one mistake for things to end bad. And when they do, the injuries suffered are catastrophic, most of the time life-changing. And unfortunately, industrial injuries are frighteningly a common thing. One of the more common injuries suffered is degloving. This happens when the skin and the fat are torn away from the underlying structures that they're normally attached to, being the bones and muscles. These injuries are extremely painful, often exposing the nerve endings. Recovering from these injuries is a long and grueling process. Pictured here is a man from an unknown country who suffered this very injury. His right hand is degloved and fingertips crushed by an unidentified heavy machine. The degloving being so clean that the skin from the man's right hand looked like a perfect glove. Doctors began rescue efforts but weren't able to save the crushed fingertips, but was able to reattach the skin to the hand. As shown, the man's reconstructed hand is obviously far different appearing than the normal. But with the amount of damage done to the hand, doctors had few options to work with. One mistake significantly changed this man's livelihood for good. And with that, thanks for watching this episode. YouTube keeps demonetizing my videos, making it difficult for me to continue making this kind of content. As discouraging as it is, I'm not going to let it stop me, and I'll continue to make content. Because at the end of the day, these videos aren't just for shock value. They're meant to be a cautionary tale. Warnings that if you're not careful, you too can end up like that poor soul in the video, forever captured for the world to see, for generations to come. I'm King Craze, and until next time, be safe. It's a dark, dark world out there.